Everybody, welcome to this live stream. This is going to be a lot of fun because we are going to be talking to former top 100 player Frederico Gil. Is it Gil or Jill?
Yeah, Gilles, but you
Gil.
can say Gil, but like
Well,
it's Gilles. Actually,
I
Gilles. Yeah.
yeah. As a dumb American, I can butcher it. I apologize. But anyway, this is going to be a fun topic because I've always been interested in. I always say trying to become a professional tennis player might be the craziest thing you can do in life because of just how much time, effort, money, and how little a chance there is to actually make in the top 100 when you think about it.
Yeah.
So it's just an amazing accomplishment, and so we want to kind of pick your brain on that. And another reason why we have you on the call today is you're gonna help us guide us through Portugal next year in 2025. So before we get into the tennis, tell us what it's like growing up playing tennis in Portugal and the lifestyle there and how fun it is to visit your country.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an easy journey for sure. That's for sure. Like that's like yeah, especially in a country as Portugal, that the culture, the culture at the highest level, especially in tennis, was. You guys listening me?
Yeah,
Yes,
you're in
yes,
solo
we're
Okay,
here.
layout.
cool.
You got the spotlight.
Yeah, nice. So no, I lost you guys here on the image. So yeah, pretty much what I was saying is like inside a country as Portugal without much culture of like professional tennis players. Um, I was like I felt since the beginning like I was a bit no, I was a lot pioneer. So I mean, before my generation, we had a guy called Nuno Marques. He was like 86 in the world, and my ex-coach, he was like around 100. So pretty much since young age, my goal and my dream was to get like those numbers, like to achieve those numbers. And like yeah, I worked really hard. Uh, I, I mean, I lost you guys here on
No,
the
no, 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 let me show you. You didn't lose us.
okay.
Uh, so
Ah,
what I'm
nice,
going to do every
better.
once in a
Sorry.
while when you're talking, I'm going to put you on the solo layout, so it's
Oh,
just you, so
okay.
everybody sees you,
Sorry.
right? And
Okay.
so that's what I did. So we heard
Actually, for me, it's
everything.
easier when I see you guys. It's a bit easier. And I saw
Okay.
you. I lost you.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a lot of work. In my case, I think it was a mix of like my grandfather and my father. They were like athletes. They were soccer players, professional soccer players. So my family and my genetics are like athletes. I live inside the athletes family. So since young age, pretty much, I think a bit of my genetic is strong, and pretty much like they really teaching me a bit like how to run, how to breathe, like all these like little details that I think in a younger age makes like made me strong. Luckily, from my mom's side, we had like a really nice house and lands, and then the family built a tennis court, so it really helped to I think to grow up in a from one side, from the father athletes, from the other side the mom, in a very nice country house with like with the house with tennis court, with a very nice like ambience between the family and friends playing tennis. So the ambience was great, so and then of course I have also like a lot of talent, but like I feel like the mix of athleticism from the papa and the mom's side with like the house, the family, the ambience. I always say the ambience that we were created here made me like really love the tennis.
Good.
Very
Yeah.
good.
All
I
the
want to do a couple of
weekends.
introductions real quick. Right next to me, I have Guy, who helps organize our trips where we're going to be busy in your beautiful country in Portugal. And then below him is Steve, the living legend who
Yeah.
has put together so many trips in the United States with his tennis fantasies, and then
Oh,
now
nice.
going abroad. And we've gone to France and Spain, and we've got to South America. I mean, it's just amazing. If you guys are interested in this trip, I've already put the link in the chat, so you guys can click on the link and kind of look at that as we're talking here, so you can see the trip that's going to happen in 2025. So Guy, first of all, just tell us a little bit about how you connected with Frederico and the trip you put together, and maybe a question for him.
Well, actually, I knew Federico from because I'm a tennis geek, obviously, like all of you guys listening to this live chat, and I watched Federico Gil on TV. I knew who he was, never met him, and I reconnected through the social media. Actually, he's
Yeah.
doing an excellent job on social media. He correct me if I'm wrong, Fred, but Fred is implanted in Lisbon. He has built up a tennis academy.
Yeah.
As you can see on his shirt, you have the logo of his academy, and he's managing a couple of tennis courts in the area of Lisbon, Cascais, and Sintra, working with some five-star hotel as well. And I thought that Steve and I had an idea of doing a trip in Portugal and also in the south of Spain, in Andalusia. And then I thought immediately in Federico, investigated a little bit, and thought he was the perfect guy. Friendly, nice player, and that's how we get connected. So that's basically how it started, and I got in touch with his employees and the people that helped him. So that's pretty much how we connected, and yeah. So
Nice. Thank you for the words.
Steve,
Yes.
you've been around the game a long time. We talked a little bit off camera that Katie Cantardi at your club has had an amazing doubles career so far. She's broken in and out of the top 100. Now, based on what you've seen, in your life, do you have any questions that you would love to ask Federico as far as what it's like to do it?
Well, I certainly I think that the big question now in my mind, and I'm seeing it not only in Katie McNally, who's injured now, but I'm seeing so many injuries. So I would like to ask Fred, relative to training, are you seeing so much training that they're overtraining and therefore susceptible to injury because of overdoing it?
I mean, yeah. I think nowadays, honestly, the physical knowledge around tennis is like so much higher than before, and the preparation of the players, athletes, clients, whatever. Like I think nowadays there is so much knowledge about it, and so much like prevention as well. Of course, I see some injuries, but like honestly, I think in a general term that people are more prepared or more ready to play, and I think there is so much knowledge about like physical condition and recovering and preparation that like I think it's a question of like the ones are more like I don't know, focus on that than the ones that are more like distance from that. You know what I mean? Like and I think nowadays like it's more quality, less quantity, and maybe before in my generation was like less knowledge, so we made maybe more quantity and less quality, and nowadays it's like the game changed a bit. No, we work like with more quality, with less quantity but more intensity. So I think it shifted like from like 10-15 years ago,
And that would be a healthy shift in your opinion?
I think it really changed the game, especially because the way you prepare and the knowledge about the body. Yes, I do believe that. Like nowadays, the preparation of the body is completely different than before. The way that the athletes they train, or now it's about the athletes. The way they train, it's more to have full force in the first 2-3 shots, 4 shots maximum, and less like longer points, and the way they train the bodies is completely different nowadays.
Well, it certainly, I think what most casual tennis observers don't understand is just exactly how physical the game is. I mean, when you're playing at your level, I mean, every swing is all out, and you're running, and then you're going 3 sets, you're going 5 sets. It's a very physically demanding game. Like I said, if you're close to it, people don't understand that.
Yeah, is for sure.
I got a question going back to your childhood and kind of like having the dream of being a tennis player. you know, we find out a lot of people who make it a top 100 and have great careers that somewhere along the line, whether it was a parent, a coach, or an uncle like Uncle Tony, there was somebody who's kind of like dropping the hammer and being a little bit of a slave driver, if you will, like really, really hard on the player. Did you have that in your life, or was it just totally like kind of coming from you where you're a young kid and for whatever reason at a young age you developed this dream to go, and it was more internal than driven from a stern parent or coach, or was it both?
Basically internal, first internal and then external, but my case completely internal first. Like I don't know, since young age, I think it was like 2 or 3 episodes that changed my life and my career in a for me in a happy way, in a lucky way. I can say that like at as I started like with 3 or 4 in the house with the adults, and every like weekend they do tournaments, they do doubles, really fun ambience in my house, you know, like I'm just here and I'm assisting to these like groups and social. So for me tennis was that since the beginning, you know, like, and was so fun and so social. And one of the coaches was a tennis coach, and he said, look, the kid has talent, like bring him on the group, on the club, and I can give him some like private lessons. But actually, to be honest, I never liked it, the private lessons, because I wanted to be in the groups. I wanted to be with the fun, you know, when you are young. And the way they were teaching me, like I wait all day for them to finish the doubles to be like half an hour playing with one of the adults, and they just teach it me. And then I don't know, I think I got it really quick. And when they put me to play in a tournament on 5 years old, I was used to play with the adults, so I won the first tournament I felt the kids were a bit easy to play against. I was used to play with the adults, so like I just want to say that the first tournament I won, the second tournament I won. So for me, going to play or going to a tournament was since young age a really happy thing to do. So and that made me like go to the court every time I go play. I think I will win, or I have a good feeling about it. So in my case, luckily or not luckily, it happened that way, you know.
Is your house, your parents' house, did you grow up playing on clay, or was it hard court?
Hard court.
Hard court.
Most of the courts in Lisbon, most of them are clay courts.
It's a mix. We have a big national center in Jamor with like 30 clay courts. Actually, the tennis federation, it's inside a facility with 30 clay courts. But I would say generally in Portugal, it's more hard than clay. Yes, but we have a lot of clay as well. Yeah. But more clay on Spain than Portugal for sure.
Yes. Okay.
What made you first? Was there like, you know, you're a kid having a dream, but when you're a little older, was there a specific moment? Did you do something, or did a friend do something that you could beat? Where you're like, I think I can actually like be a pro. Like, when did the dream kind of like hit you?
That's a good question. And let me just go back here 5 to 7. So I had all my memory says is I had these two tournaments, the first 2 that I won, and I got the bike and the trophy. So very good feeling about it. At 9 years old, I have to say that I was playing more soccer than tennis, because I'm from a soccer family. So I was completely playing more soccer than tennis. Tennis was secondary. And at 9 years old, I had a big injury. I had an osteochondroma, like a tumor, like a benign tumor, that I was playing in a drop shot, and I completely felt the pain, that I went to the hospital. And that age, the doctor said no more sports. I had to make an operation. So let's say from 9 to 11, these 2 years, I didn't do sports. Like, and he said no more sports, all these things that the doctors sometimes they say. And let's go back. 11, I start to come back, and at 12, we had the experience, like this group of the family, we were part of like a social community called Cine Tenis, that like a Spanish coach from this group asked if there is a family near Cascais that we can give a house with a tennis court for a professional player from Spain to come to the house, and we can offer the house for a month. And my family, in a good way, we just offered the house for 1 month for a group of Spanish. But look who came. We didn't know, but who came was Juan Carlos Ferrero.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
Juan Carlos Ferrero, as a junior, came to Lisboa. They asked the family with a tennis court for a house for a month. So he came with Antonio Cascales, his coach, and 3 other guys trying to make pro. So he was preparing Roland Garros Junior as #1 in the world. Okay, playing a satellite at that time, and I was 12, and we gave the house because we gave the house. We didn't know who they were. You understand? So, and in that case, I was 12, coming back from the injury, liking sports, liking playing okay tennis. So I was like, wow, this is amazing how they train. Is amazing how. So I lived like this month, like fully with them, going to the tournament. You know, seeing him beating all the Portuguese stars. He won the satellite. He was like Nike contract, like taking care of the food, practicing a lot, going for a run. And I did this full months with them completely, kind of as, you know, going as a kid. And for being thankful for the family, they offered me 3 to 4 weeks in Spain in their academy as being thankful. You understand? So just to tell you, like, I never thought to be a pro, but like after this experience with him and after going to Spain, and after having some problems with the soccer, because I always felt in soccer that like I gave my maximum, but the result does not depend on me. I have to depend on these 10 players that sometimes they don't give their maximum. So I don't like this. I prefer the tennis. So what made me go to tennis was like, because it depends on me, was not because I play better. You understand? So,
Yeah.
So after that, plus the Ferrero, plus this situation in 3-4 weeks in Spain, I said, like, when I came back with 13, 14, I said to my parents, I want to be like Ferrero. I want to dedicate. I want to be like professional. That's what made me take the decision that I want to be like him. You know, I like it so much that, and I felt like if I train like that, I can be like that. So that you know, that was what made me say in my family. I remember with 13 to 14, I want to be a professional tennis player.
Nice. That's a great story. Great story.
That's my story, you know. So was not because I was the most talented or this or that. Was because of these 3 or 4 situations.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then as you're going into your teenage years, and what was the first
and then was very fast
big moment where you beat somebody or maybe even lost very close? You're like, holy cow, like that guy's awesome, and I beat him, or I almost beat him, and it became even more real.
What it became real was like at 14, like I really started to train like hard. And then the federation, they asked me to go for a full project inside the federation with like morning, afternoon, physical work, international tournaments. And then at under 16, I went to the semifinal of the European Championship against Nadal. And then I started to feel like, wow, I'm one of the best, you understand? Under 16. So I felt like I lost in 3 sets. I took 1 set from him in the teams. I was like, wow, like I'm starting to feel that like this is good. I felt good. And then at 17, 18, I was like on the top 10 in the world junior. You understand? So I that's where I felt like I'm good, and like I have a lot of motivation to make this going. You understand? And a lot of passion at the same time.
Absolutely.
So the Portuguese Federation, did you have to move from Lisboa, or they were still in Lisboa? Or
no, it was in Lisboa. It was far, like 45 minutes drive. So I have to go. You know, I travel a lot, like by car, but was in Lisbon. You know, I was living in Sintra. That is like 30 minutes, but I live more to the sea, so it's like 45 to me.
Okay, great.
So. And then my parents, they were key. You know, my parents supported me in my decisions. They invested, they gave it all. You know, but they always supported. You know, they always gave me the opportunity to make it what I really thought would be like that. So I think my father, as he was an athlete, he understood me and he gave me. You understand?
Yeah.
Legend, you have a question.
Sorry?
No question. It's just I'm just nodding. This is a terrific story. I love the Juan Carlos situation.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You know you get these little opportunities, and they just light up the light. And I'm I'm smiling because that's a really
Yeah.
great
That
story.
makes your life like Steve. Look at this, Steve. At 17, when I was inside the top 10 world junior, I was playing Roland Garros as a junior. So it's the second week, and it was that time 2003 that he was the number one. He was the king of clay before Rafa. And that day he plays Marat Safin for the semifinals in Philippe Chartier. That day I was in the locker room on the players' lounge of the juniors, and I didn't see him from this experience of 13 until 17. You know, it was 4 years that I never saw them again. And that day, Antonio Cascales, his coach, I was at the players' lounge warming up, like playing the things with the kids. And then Antonio Cascales came to the players' lounge juniors. He said, Fred, can you come to warm up with Juan Carlos Ferrero on the Philippe Chartier and spend the day with us? We want you to come to warm up Juan Carlos, and you're gonna spend the day with us, and you're gonna go to the box. And for me, it was like, man, the guy is like,
I'm getting goosebumps just hearing this story.
I went straight away. Of course, I took the bag. We went to Philippe Chartier, warm him up there. Going to the locker rooms was Agassi was there, and then having lunch, preparing the match, going to his box. So this made me like, okay, and then he won. Was amazing experience. You understand? So I was like, wow, they came.
Which year was that?
2003.
Wow.
He won the French Open.
He won against that day. He won 6-3, 6-3, 6-3 against Marat, and then on Sunday he beat. I don't know if it was the Dutch one. No, I don't remember who he beat on the final. But I was only with him warming up Philippe Chartier semifinal and then spending the day with them.
Wow,
that's awesome, and good.
That
good
was like
for remembering you and bringing you in. That's awesome.
I don't know why. I don't know. I never asked Antonio why, but I knew I was at the players' lounge, and he came and he said for me to go and to like spend the day. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. So now you're sniffing the major leagues. You've had all these great experiences with legends of the game and your top 10 in the world in juniors. Was it an easy transition to the pros, or did you start to go, wow, there's a big difference between men and juniors?
Oh my God, no, that was like difficult. I took like maybe 3 years until I made the click. Okay, until like 21. From 18 to 21, we called the jungle, the futures, the satellite was very difficult phase, because I felt like, okay, I'm very good junior, but like I'm not winning a future. I'm like, okay, quarters, semis, like I can make it. It's very difficult. So I took like 3 years of like this phase. But then I think my coach on this phase was key. My coach was like, you're doing great, you continue, it will come, the level is there. Like, he was like, I was not quitting, but like I was like, fuck, this is very difficult. And then it made a click that I won the first future at 21. And then was like, after 3 weeks, I played my first challenger and I won a challenger straight away. It was like, I was like, what? How is that possible? I'm like 3 years here, like can't win a future. And then suddenly I win a future. And a few weeks after I win a challenger in Italy. And then my rankings went like straight away up. And then was very fast from there until the top 100. At 23, I was inside the top 100 again. So I struggled maybe 2-3 years on the futures, and then was very fast from winning the first future to top 100. Was really quick. And then was not easy again. And then it's not easy. It's a lot of phases.
And a lot of that was that big jump. A lot of it just a matter of confidence, a matter of in your brain knowing that you belong.
And game wise also, like you need to develop a certain like maturity and strength, and like putting the pieces together, like it's sometimes like you know what to do, but like you're still young, you're still like not enough power, and then you take wrong decisions. And then like sometimes, Steve, is the mix of like not only one thing, is a bit complex. It's a mix of like the technique, but then the tactic, and then which tournaments to play, and then like it's a mix of a lot of things. Like yeah.
Once you got in the top 100, so now you've made it. You're in the top 100. Was it easy to stay in the top 100 or very difficult? Did you go in and out of the top 100, or did you get a spot
No,
and stay
then
there for years? What
I
happened?
stayed there. No, I stayed there for 5 years, more or less, 4.5. Was like I felt was more difficult to achieve than to stay. I felt that.
That's interesting.
Yes, sometimes it's the opposite, but like I felt was more difficult to get there than staying, because then staying I was like so motivated to be like in the best tournaments, in the best, like this is what I dreamed, this is what I wanted. So like I'm gonna give it all, like then what I found it very difficult was to go to the next level, to the top 50. I couldn't make it. I was 60, and then I couldn't make it through. For me nowadays it's easy to see why, but like that moment I couldn't see why, and I get like so frustrated, and like why I'm beating top 10 guys or top 20, and why I'm in 60. Why? I couldn't understand why. I was young, and I was asking my coach, like what's happening, something wrong, because I'm beating top 10 or top 20, why I'm 60, what are we doing wrong, and I start to question a bit his work, I start to question. And I just need to say this because this is important. I had a dream and a vision that I will share with you, that was because inside Portugal, the culture or the mentality was like, it's not possible to achieve ATP level if you practice in Portugal. Okay. So I wanted to tell the people that, like, is it possible to practice in, let's say, Lisboa or Portugal and achieve top level? I wanted to say this to the people. So, and when I started to shock with my own coach that he was the best of Portugal, I was in shock against me, because then if I leave, I would go to what they say. So I was like, in a one way, I felt like it's not enough. What is he giving me? But it's not, there is no better here. Yeah. So, but if I leave, I don't achieve what I said I want to achieve, that is working here and achieving ATP level. So, and then I made a mistake. I left him, and then as soon as I left, my results were like starting down, and then so yeah. In that case, I would, like, I made this. That was my mistake. I left all the structure that gave me that stability. And instead of adding what was missing or investing in something that was missing, I took all the structure down. That I made a mistake.
Yeah. Well, if you could do it all over again, you have the structure.
No, the same. I had the money. I could invest in a top 50 or X top 50 or X top 20 and had him on the team instead of taking the other guy that was like gave me the stability, and then I just took him out. It's so stupid. And when you are young, I did a mistake.
So that's what you would have done differently. You would have kept.
I would invest in a more experienced coach to add to the team.
Add to the team. Okay.
And no taking the other one that was like all my structure until that moment.
And what specifically do you think a top 20 coach is going to say or do that a coach that's not been there can't do? What are they going to do?
Schedule decisions, like which tournaments to play. Like you need to take also sometimes like more risky decision. We were like, now it's very clear for me, but we were taking like too much conservative decisions in terms of calendar. Okay. I needed to risk more in terms to get more points. So my decisions as a calendar were too conservative. So even if I win some challenge, I just get a top of 100 points and I have to play I have to go for ATPs or more higher tournament, even if I have to play the qualifyings, because I would have more opportunity to get more points. So we didn't risk so much in terms of calendar. And then I think a few details, technique and tactic, I could have upgraded a few things that my coach was very good tactical and mental, but like on technique and some offensivity or more, I could be a bit of more offensive as well. Yeah.
That's great.
So it's
It's
two or
very
three details that can make a completely different change in a career. You know.
That's a wonderful lesson right there.
Yeah. For
That's
me, Steve,
awesome.
it's like wow, like and nowadays I'm okay with that, but it was hard to accept that. Like
Sure.
you know, it's like your life. It's your
yeah.
fully dedication to the thing. You know?
Do you think you are like a pioneer now because the Portuguese tennis now is developing a lot. You have
Yeah.
I don't know how many people you have in the top 100, but you may have, if I'm right, you have maybe some top 50. I don't remember his name. I think it's Borges. He won.
Nuno is now top 50. Actually,
Yeah, he won.
today is
Oh,
Monday. So this today is 47. It's the first time.
okay. So
Yeah.
he won a couple of tournaments to 50, and you think you are also a pioneer into that. You gave motivation to the next one as well. As
For
you got
sure.
motivation from Ferrero, he got Federico is
Yes.
kind of my example. And the other question is, are you looking to also develop? I'm sure you are with your academy, but are you willing to work on tour maybe with some future Portuguese tennis players to bring to the top 100, top 50, or top 25?
Yes, but like so for sure I was pioneer. It was just Nuno Marquez and my ex-coach. They were 8600, but they were like, for example, Nuno I think was there 1 month. You know, it was like
Yeah,
achieve and exit. You understand? It was not like
yeah,
there. And yeah, I was the first Portuguese ever playing an ATP final. I was the first one maybe winning a ATP 215 doubles. I was the first one to go third round in a Grand Slam. I was the first one going quarterfinals in a Masters 1000 event. You know, I was the
yeah,
first one passing the barrier of 1 million in prize money. So it was a lot of achievements that like only João Sousa, that is a generation after me, and now
Sousa.
Nuno Borges,
Yeah,
that they are achieving better results than me. So in a
yeah,
way, I was like the first one that I feel really proud of it. Uh, but of course, if you compare my career to other countries, it's like it's a small thing, you know, like because but culturally wise was like a big battle. Okay, so I know I have a lot of value because of that,
yeah,
and yeah, and my project now regarding the academy, it's for sure it's a pioneer project because João or Nuno they still on tour, or João now is finishing, so I'm the first one that like really achieved like top level and bringing like a new concept. And I decided, because I was really tired of the competition, I decided to start with, as I started home, with a very social, really cool concept inside Sintra, inside Lisbon, bringing the best hotels, bringing the nice clients. Because for me, tennis is, you know, like tennis first is social, first is fun, first is good, then is competition, you know. And many coaches for competition, athletes, calm. Like, this is just for a few, you know. Like tennis is super fun. Tennis is so
yeah,
nice, and you know. So I created my concept in a very social way. Some
yeah,
people like, why? What are you doing? Like they don't get it. Some, but like, of course, I will have the competition and all the athletes and all that. I'm starting to build that department, okay. But like
yeah.
until here, I focus like in creating the best social concept of tennis in Portugal, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said that, because I always say, like, look, you know, if 100 people were at a concert and you went to it, you'd be like, no one was there. Like that's how hard it is to make it in the top 100. Is it's like
exactly.
such a small number, and like you said, it's such a great sport. And really, the people who make the sport go are the recreational players, especially the adults ones who really love the game and support the game and go to the tournaments and everything. And I don't think that we do give them enough praise and flowers. And so I love that you're doing that. We also, speaking of that, we have one of our best supporters online right now, and he had a great question. It's a two-part question. What world ranking is required to make it on the ATP and WTA tour, by making it mean that you're actually making money and having a good living? And how
Yeah,
long do you have to stay in that certain ranking range to, you know, be able to say, like, okay, I set myself up for a good life, versus you're going to be broke when you quit?
Yeah, nowadays is a bit different because there is more money involved. In my generation, like 4 times more probably now. In my generation, like let's say general terms, okay? Like if you are 200 in the world, you can pay your coaching, you can pay your team, but basically you're not getting anything for you, okay? If you are inside the top 100, okay, you can pay your team, and let's say you can pay, let's say in general numbers at my generation, more or less when I played, let's say you can pay your team and you make like a 5K a month, let's say more or less like that. Okay?
Wow.
From it's not much, and you are a top 100 in the world.
Wow. It's a
So-
crazy.
And
Crazy.
all the money that you should invest to achieve to that like level, you know. So nowadays it's different, but in my more or less, okay, with the proper team, okay, coach, traveling, physio, mental, like with a good team, but like yeah. So yes. It's
So
not
it
easy.
sounds like there were probably people on the team that were making as much money as the star of the show was.
Maybe no, but like no, my coach, of course, he was doing good money, but like, I mean, he's part of the results, you know. He's the daily guy. He's like, you know, and
Can you? Yeah.
no, and
Go
then yeah, go.
Good.
No, go ahead. It's totally different.
No,
Like,
it's
Yeah.
Let's go.
I just had a question. You mentioned that you made it to a final, the first Portuguese player to make it to an ATP final in single. You're the first one to win ATP 250 in doubles. Can you name these tournaments maybe for the people that are watching?
So the first one is the one that has more memory for me because was our ATP 250 in Estoril. So it's a home tournament.
Yeah.
So, and I was the first Portuguese ever to achieve the final in our ATP tournament. That is Estoril. Is a 250.
And you were
Okay.
home.
So I was home and I was practicing there. The tennis federation is there. So, you know, I was playing really home. So, and Federer that year, 2010, lost in the semifinals. So I was about to go play with him in the final, but he lost in the semifinals.
Oh no.
So like I played this Spanish guy called Albert Montañez, and he beat Federer in 2 sets. He beat like 6-3, 7-6. He was top 20. He was a clay quarter, like so good. And I lost in the 7-5 on the third set. Yeah, I was like a few minutes away of winning the tournament. Like, yeah, it was hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. We want to get into the trip, but I have one last question. First, I have a comment, then I have a question. First of all, I just want to congratulate you on an amazing career. What I tell people is, you know, obviously we know Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic are freaks of nature, right?
Yeah.
But what I like to tell people is like, you don't understand. People can get in the top 100. They are freaks. They are freaks to what they are able to do. It is so
They
hard
are
to get
top.
the top 100. Anybody who can do it,
Top
stay
200, everybody's top.
there, is a freak. So you've done an amazing thing. Now, my last question though is knowing what you know now. You know, going back as a boy and knowing what you know now and how the life is on tour, would you do it all again?
Well, good question. No, I think I would. I if I go back as a young age, no, right now, no. But like if I would be young with my knowledge, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
No, but it's a very hard life. Yes, it's a very hard life. But like I think when you do what you love, like you should go for it. You know.
Yeah.
And this, I feel proud of doing something that I love. You know, I always say to people, one of the, I think the keys of success in life, and it's if you work in a thing that you love, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's like I love. You know, I have so much passion. So for me, it's not work. For me, it's a dream coming true. You understand?
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
Guy, let's talk about how we're going to go visit him and the things we're going to see. I can pull up the website if you'd like now. Would you like me to do that for you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Because we're going to have some fun, guys. I put the website in the chat a couple times, and this is what we're going to be doing next year. Guy, take it away.
So yeah, I'm actually super excited after listening to you, Federico. I already want to be in May and June in Portugal and visiting all about your countries. and be on court with you. So we are planning a trip which is called the Portuguese and Spanish Tennis Experience. We're going to be during 4 nights in Lisbon, in Portugal. This is a beautiful picture of your hometown, Frederico. If you want to add up, Frederico, some comments about your city and anything, please jump in. So we're going to stay for 4 nights in Lisbon. We're going to stay at Palacio Estoril, which is actually located right next to the tennis club of Estoril, where Frederico played the final of the ATP, right? It's like probably 2 minutes away. And we are probably and most probably going to play there for 1 day with you, Frederico, and also at the federation. That's what your colleague mentioned to me.
Exactly.
So we will play on the red clay 2 days with Frederico. We have like a 10 hours program planned with Frederico, his team, and our staff. We're gonna do some excursions, a lot of activities. Sintra, we will go to Sintra. Sintra is actually
it's mandatory.
That's where you were raised, actually, Frederico.
Yes, and you should come to see my court as well in my house.
We will
You're more than welcome.
We play on your court. We're gonna have some beautiful excursion there. See a show of Fado, which is the local, if I understand, local Portuguese music, historical one. We will do a private boat cruise in Lisbon, some tuk-tuk tours, because Lisbon is a very hilly city going down and up. So we will facilitate all these visits, obviously. And for the ones that are listening to us, we are doing also packages for the non-tennis players. So when your spouse is playing tennis, we will take you on private tours, cooking classes, and also do some art of azulejos, which is the painting, the facades of the building in Porto and Lisbon. They have a lot of azulejos. So you will do all of that. Obviously, we include a lot of restaurants. That's going to be a very, very unique experience. Maybe Frederico, you want to give before I jump into the Spanish part of the trip, you want to give a few words about the people, maybe to understand a little bit that there is Lisbon, Sintra, and Cascais, a little bit the different location, and let them know that they will be staying in the Palacio Estoril, which is emblematic 5-star hotel.
Yes,
and maybe you want to give a few words on the different spot.
No, I think the plan and the project is fantastic. First of all, Lisbon is not that huge city, so from Lisbon to Sintra, we're talking about half an hour by car. From that's the central court where I played the semifinal. We should go there. Exactly that. And so we're talking about like 30 minutes maximum distance from everything. So it's not that long, especially for you from America. It's completely different, like distances here. Lisbon is becoming a very international city nowadays with a lot of international people. It's amazing to see the difference nowadays. And Sintra is in the mountain. It's fantastic. You see, look, Palacio de Pena. It's like beautiful there, and that's where I live. I live down there near the sea. So it's a very historic and energetic area. You would love it. It's gonna be nice.
All right, nice. I'm very excited. We're very excited. I'm gonna go ahead, everyone. Fred, I will present the second half of the trip. So after having an amazing time in Lisbon, and we're probably gonna be not willing to leave Lisbon and Fred, we'll be going to actually Marbella. So we'll be flying from Lisboa to Lisbon to Malaga, which is about 2 hours flight. And we're going to spend 3 nights in a beautiful 5-star hotel. Maybe, Frederico, you know this hotel. It's called Puente Romano.
Beautiful
Puente Romano
courts.
they have an amazing facilities. That's the courts right in front of your hotel room. Actually, you're going to have view of on these courts. It's a beachfront hotel, luxury with swimming pool, spa. And we will provide another tennis program. Fred will not be with us, but we will have our local coaches in Puente Romano.
Maybe I can come.
Maybe Fred comes over.
It's very close from here.
Yeah. maybe Fred comes with us. That's a new idea. And anyway, we'll have private tours of Marbella, Malaga. Marbella is a very popular town in the south of Spain with the Andalusian, the white houses, as you can see on this picture, the white houses from the south of Spain. It's also very famous in the tennis world because Manolo Santana, which is the Spanish legend, has his club over there. He passed away 2 or 3 years ago, but we may have a chance to play on his courts as well. It's a beautiful location. You are next to Malaga, as I say. We'll do private tours, and yeah, you can check on the website. You have all the information, itinerary. This is Marbella. So yeah, we are looking to host you guys in Portugal.
Guy, can you scroll all the way down for everybody to the contact form? So if you're looking at all this and you're interested but still have more questions, there is a contact form you can fill out so that if you want to say, hey, I just have more questions about this or about that, you can fill that out and one of us will get in touch with you. Because I can tell you these trips are truly bucket list stuff. Tennis dreams come true. I'm always amazed at how much is in the package. It's nonstop fun, literally. Like you're either playing tennis, eating amazing food, going back to a beautiful hotel room, or experiencing something that you probably wouldn't have figured out how to do if you just went there by yourself. I mean, these are just so well organized, and you don't have to think about anything except for going, what's next? This is so fun. That's basically what the trips are.
Yeah, thank you, Pete, for saying that. And Federico, we have doing these trips since a couple of years now with Steve, and we have brought groups to play at the Roland Garros tennis courts. We rent the courts there. We step on Chatrier. We went to also Rafa Nadal Academy in Madrid Open this year. And we went actually also to Argentina and Uruguay, where we played with José Luis Clerc in Buenos Aires, and then with Pablo Cuevas. Yet you probably played against on the tour.
Yes.
And Pablo,
my first Grand Slam victory was against Pablo in Australian Open. 4 hours, 35 minutes. I never forget.
Whoa.
5 sets. He was crazy.
So Pablo was with us, and he reminds me a little bit
Big
of
friend
you as
of
well.
Pablo. I like him so much.
Yeah.
So Pablo is always also, as you know, he's one of the best he's the best Uruguayan player, and he's trying as well to develop the tennis over there.
Nice.
So I just wanted to add on something I forgot. We are doing also a pre-extension package to Porto. Many of you guys traveling a long way. It's a 7 nights program, 8 days, and Porto. As you may jump in, as Porto is a beautiful city, and we would love to have you guys also coming to Porto for 3 nights extra. You can email Steve or us to ask for more details, but we are planning to have a 7 nights package combining 4 nights in Lisbon, 3 nights in Marbella, and 3 extra nights before to Porto if you wish to come and be with Federico.
Very good. Guys, I put a banner right there, so if you want to check it out, it's bonjourtennisfantasies.com. Also, I put the link many times in the chat, as well as if you found out about this live stream from the email, you can click on the email link that I put in there, and we'll also follow up with a replay. But this was a lot of fun. I really want to thank you for sharing your story today, Fred, and it was amazing to talk to you, and we can't wait to meet you and see your beautiful country.
Nice.
I think this chat not only are we taking people to a wonderful part of the world, but we've just met a very, very wonderful human being and a great tennis player, and he's certainly going to add something extremely special to this experience, and that's why it is an experience as opposed to just a trip.
Exactly.
So, Fred,
thank
we're welcome aboard, and thank you for your time. You're a wonderful guy, and you're an inspiration. I really enjoyed listening to you talk about your journey.
Thank you. Same wise. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
Thank
you very much, Fred.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Obrigado. Like we said.
Obrigado. Thank you.
Obrigado.
Ciao. Thank you.
Care.
Ciao.